Republicans or illegals. What Nancy Pelosi let slip should have every American worried. By that conservative girl politics U.S. News for MadWorldNews.com. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi was in El Paso, Texas this week, where she held a press conference. Now her Democratic cronies are freaking out as they never expected what she would let slip about illegals. According to the Daily Caller, House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi admitted during a televised press conference on Wednesday that voting for Democrats gives leverage to illegal immigrants. While in El Paso, Texas, the California Democrat said that people who have a completely positive view of immigrants should vote for Democrats in the hopes of giving leverage to people who cross the U.S. border illegally. We're not going to be able to get it done under the Republican leadership in Congress, Pelosi said of immigration reform. We believe that we will have leverage when we win in November, and why that's important, because it gives leverage to every family, to every mom who courageously brought her child across the desert to escape death, rape, gang violence, and the rest. Because it gives hope, because of the leverage it gives to families who may have followed. Dad may have gone home for a family funeral, and now he can't come into the country. All of those injustices have to be corrected.
I don't want to be political here.
Yes, you don't want to be political.
I would say that to the extent that people hear the stories, it's interesting because there was a recent survey that said, well, if you ask people about their attitude toward immigration and newcomers to the country, they might have one view. You know, they haven't thought about it a whole lot except they're hearing the president, this and that. But if they know one family, if they know one immigrant family, if they go to school with any immigrant children, if their children go to school with any immigrant children, if they go to church with any, they have a completely positive view. It changes everything. That's why I keep talking about public sentiment. And so, because this is the right thing to do, I have confidence that we will get where we need to go. But everything is about time, and we want to shorten the distance, as your question indicated, between what we think is inevitable for America, they think is inconceivable, but we believe that we can get this done. We are not going to be able to get it done under the Republican leadership in Congress. We believe that we will have leverage when we win in November. And why that's important? Because it gives leverage to every family, to every mom who courageously brought her child across the desert to escape death, rape, gang violence, and the rest. Because it gives hope because of the leverage it gives to families who may have dad may have gone home for a family funeral and now can't come back into the country. All of those injustices have to be corrected. There's a path, and that path is greatly brightened by the knowledge that is in this community, who sees firsthand simple solutions which make a big difference in people's lives. And so we're getting ready for this. And it is only to come back to a place that honors our values, recognizes the importance of immigration to the success of America.
Well, you couldn't hardly hear her, but of course the real injustices are those wrought on the American people by the criminal illegals crossing our porous southern border in droves. But for some reason, American lives are not as valuable as the lives of illegal aliens, according to bleeding heart liberals like Pelosi. Perhaps that's because illegal aliens are far more likely to vote for Democratic politicians like herself than hardworking Americans are. And as for the so-called courageous mothers shuttling their babies across the border to escape death, rape, gang violence, and the rest, We know that in the majority of the cases, that description is a major exaggeration at best. Most of the people who cross the border illegally do not have a pressing need to escape anything. They're simply coming to America to take advantage of all we have to offer, and those advantages should be reversed for our own citizens, meaning the welfare system. Take, for example, the case of the crying Honduran girl named Yanela, who was supposedly separated from her family at the border. A picture of the toddler was used by the left to demonize the Trump administration over the president's hardline stance on immigration. It was later revealed, after the misleading photograph was used to raise millions of dollars for an open borders agenda, that Yanela's mother was not fleeing her home country to escape anything. The little girl was never separated from her family. In fact, Yanela's father had a good job in Honduras and was providing well for his family. There was no reason for his wife to take his daughter on the treacherous journey across the border, and the father even spoke out to air his frustration over the fact that his wife had exposed Yanela to such danger. And therein lies the hypocrisy of the Democratic stance on unbridled illegal immigration across our porous southern border with Mexico. If liberals truly cared about illegal immigrants, they would be cautioning them against crossing the border, not welcoming them with open arms as immigrants are far more likely to be raped or killed while trying to come to America than they are by simply staying in their countries of origin, where many of them, like Yanela and her mother, were just fine to begin with. Well, that's the mentality of Nancy Pelosi. Why should we be surprised? She cares more about the illegals than she does her own citizens. So it's not surprising at all, because they just want to stay in office, no matter the destruction that they cause to this country. I'll just say one thing: if you're American, better vote Republican, because I got news for you. They don't have anything planned for this country that's of any value. They want this country to work and work for other interests. That's basically the bottom line. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.